Hello, my name is Joshua Gilliland and welcome to another installment of the Legal Geeks educational series. Today we're going to be talking about video depositions at trial. Something that's, I think, fun to put together, but then again I'm a little funny in the fact I enjoy trial presentation technology. So let's talk about the legal requirements for preparing video depos for trial. Notice is key. Look at your state rules and your local rules, and if the judge has any standing orders on using video in trial. In California, under the California Code of Civil Procedure, you must notify the court and all parties in writing of that intent and the parts of the deposition to be offered in trial. Notice has to be sufficient for objections and for video editing. Now, if you're going to object, you have to object in writing. Additionally, the court may permit further designations of testimony and objections as justice may require. So what's this mean? It means for actually doing all the editing and the video sync, you have to be very thorough. So let's talk about that. The way that you have to edit the video in many jurisdictions is you can't just take one section. You can't just take the question and the answer. You have to take a couple before and a couple after in order to give context to the testimony, to make sure that the testimony is not being taken out of context and causing confusion or prejudice or anything like that that would be objectionable to the jury. Now, there are additional legal requirements, at least in California, and again, it's important to check with your state as well. For undesignated or objectionable deposition segments, the court may order those portions suppressed or an edited version of the deposition recording be prepared for use at the trial or a hearing. Original audio and video records of the deposition must be preserved unaltered. A lot of the technology that we have does this. You would have a nice saved copy of it, especially if you're using one of the great trial presentation programs available. There are also some even available for the iPad that you can look at as well to show that there are many ways to present this information. Now, I've actually enjoyed preparing video deposition testimony for trial. You use the tools to review the depo, find the sections that you want to use, make sure everything's synced properly, and when you begin the editing, you might have to edit out the objection so that way the jury doesn't hear all the attorney battle going back and forth, but edit things out and make sure the audio is lined up, because you can start dealing with milliseconds just to make sure everything's synced so that you see the mouths moving correctly and things do not look poorly edited. You should also have video synchronized for easy clip creation on the fly. This generally would happen during impeachment, that you might find a witness saying something that was counter to what was in his deposition testimony, and you got to be able to do that on the fly and know the material well enough that you can find something that just doesn't add up or conflict with prior testimony. And the big thing is test, test, test. If you're going to be using this technology, you can't just cowboy up and go do it. You have to test it. You have to practice that opening statement that might have it, or if you're going to use this in cross-examination, practice with your trial expert who's going to be handling the technology, or if it's an associate attorney or a paralegal or whoever, get used to working together so you can do this. If you're going to be doing this alone, both the examination and using the trial presentation technology to show the depo transcripts, practice it. It's very easy to get excited and forget to do something, which is why if you practice and you get used to it, you can avoid anything unfortunate happening with the technology. Now, there are other tips that we can talk about as well when you're using trial presentation, but we'll save that for another time. The important thing is to practice, know what you're doing, and have a backup plan in case something goes wrong. Perhaps that's the second computer or something ready to go on an iPad. There are many options that you can have in case something goes wrong. Well, again, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed today's recording. If you enjoyed this recording, please check out my iPad app, The Deponent, a deposition outlining tool available on the App Store. Thank you.